Hey, bub.
Hey, bub. Oh my God, I love it.
All right, we're gonna do this photo real quick.
Hold on, let me get my other glove on. Wolverine himself.
You better get your other glove on. You're gonna need it, bub.
All right, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Hey, bub. I love your jacket, Al.
Oh man, this is a cast jacket.
Oh,
my name. Well, Logan.
That's your name.
And the back. Did you see the back of it? I have to show you the back of this jacket.
It's got the colors and everything.
Oh yeah, Wolverine yellow. They're called.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. Is that when y'all wrapped?
Yeah.
That's what you got?
Well, no. Some of them were X-Men blue leather. So like Cyclops and those guys got like the blue leather, and then they put our own names on it, And so of course I took Wolverine yellow.
That's amazing.
It's a great jacket.
I appreciate.
No, you'd think they would have given it to us, but no, it cost about $200. This is back in '97. Cost like $250 for us for each one of these jackets.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah. Well, now you're on
boys.
Now you're on Disney payroll, so maybe things will be.
Oh man! How kind of news is that? We can't wait for this. And this is just stunning news.
The fact that you are the Wolverine. I mean, I'm sure for a generation of fans.
I know that, and I keep telling them that.
I mean, I love Hugh Jackman. I love Hugh Jackman, but you are my first Wolverine, and I want to thank you for being part of this.
And when I met Hugh Jackman, we met he was in Toronto year 2000 shooting the movie. It was his first, the first X-Men movie, and his first time doing Wolverine. And we met at a wine and cheese thing. We wanted the two Wolverines to meet, and he had to listen to me. He had to listen to the tapes of the show. The only reference for children and kids or anyone was my voice as Wolverine. So he had to listen to me for days and hours. So we were introduced at Hugh, this is Cal Dodd. Cal Dodd, this is Hugh Jackman. He's the movie Wolverine. And Hugh, this is the Wolverine and this is the only Wolverine that people know. And he said, it's great to meet you, Mike, but I got to tell you, I'm sick and tired of listening to your voice. So I turned to him and I said, well, that's a comment. I mean, a compliment, I think. He said, oh yeah. And I said, well, just make sure you don't mess it up, bub.
Yeah. And I'm sure that stuck with him. I'm sure that stuck with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great guy. Anyway.
That's awesome.
So this is great news. We're going to come back to do this. It's just wonderful.
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you. I do actually work in IDD services, intellectual disability services for individuals. So I want to thank you for being open and honest about the people that you interact with, because I was telling Catherine, a lot of the people that the X-Men help are really, people that I help serve in my daily life as a social worker. So thank you so much for being a part of this, continuing the legacy, and also coming back, because it's going to the legacy is going to just bubble even more so. And that's going to lead to more people about the X-Men. And you do so much for the community that I serve. So thank you so much, sir. You are Wolverine. You are Logan. You are Weapon X. You're everything.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me, and I love nothing better than the fans that I meet, and and a lot of them have autism. It just astounds me, and they are the best people in the world. And it's just, they all say to a person, they say, thank you for my childhood, and a lot of them say that you're the only reason I'm alive today.
Yep.
And it's had such an impact, this series, on those children, that it just blew me away. And so to get to do this again to the next generation, I can't wait, bub.
Yes, sir. I can't wait for my nieces and nephews. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend.
Yes.
God bless you. And I'll see you anon, hopefully. Okay.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, hi there.
Hello, mon chéri.
Oh my God. Look at your background there.
This is a little shrine to one of my all-time favorite childhood shows in 1992 that has still stuck with me 33 years after
seeing
it. You are right.
Wow.
You are right there, right Gambit's behind you. As
I
you
see
should.
that. I see Gambit. And who is that? Magneto to my left?
So that is actually Colossus, I
Oh,
believe.
Colossus.
And Nightcrawler and Magneto. So your mama is right there, front and center.
All right, there she is.
And then, so I have all the villains. It's kind of dark.
Oh, you have them down there. Oh, that's cool.
Yes, and I had to make sure I got every single of the cartoon ones because there's multiple versions, but it had to be, there's Professor X, Psylocke. I'm a big.
Fantastic.
I chatted with Catherine, and I was like, Jean Grey is my personal favorite. However,
awesome.
Rogue and Storm on that first episode, Night of the Sentinels, made an impact on me from a very young age.
Is that right?
I remember my uncle. So my uncle who passed away sadly in 2016, but I have this fond memory of him watching the X-Men pilot and being like, who is this woman in part 2 of Night of the Sentinels when Sentinel does a hammer on her and she's like, she gets up and she's like, "Oh, boys," and she grabs the Sentinel and literally does the power move. And my uncle was like, "Who is this woman?" And so we started watching it, and they were drinking. Of course, we were kids, and they were like, my uncle and his friends were just blown away by Rogue. My mom, to this day, she's like, Rogue is her favorite. She's like, I don't care about Avengers, Spider-Man, Batman, Justice League. Rogue is my
good
number
for
one.
her. You gotta say, what's your mom's name?
Her name is Kimberly.
You say hi to Kimberly for me.
I sure will, and she will die to hear you say that. So thank you so much.
Well, please do. And are you going to get to keep a tape of this interview?
I believe I will, and I'm going to show it to her because we actually last year or this year actually, she was living with me because of COVID, and we rewatched some of the episodes, and she's like, I remember Rogue. Rogue is my favorite. She has all the Southern Belle charm, and you were perfect as that character, and you still are.
I appreciate that so much. I love your mother. I haven't met her, but Kimberly, mwah.
Yes, thank you so much. And Gambit, like her relationship with Gambit too, I think really helped. My mom has had not a lot of good, relationships in the past, and so I think longing for a relationship where someone couldn't touch her, but there was still the emotional connection and love that was reciprocated, I think was a very strong impact on her, not only her but me also as somebody who was very insecure growing up. Your character really, I think, just for so many people, male, female, of all ages, was so empowering, and I wanted to thank you for being part of this again. Like, this is so exciting.
How
do you feel after all these years of coming back?
Well, what did you think when you heard the announcement today?
So I had heard rumblings, honestly, and I'm a Marvel fan because of X-Men. So this whole Avengers world, it's nice, and Spider-Man's nice, but I'm not really I'm just like, when are the X-Men coming? When are the X-Men coming?
Right.
When are they going to get? Because Marvel, rights and stuff. I was like, I've kind of felt like they were disrespecting them a little bit. So now, especially with Rogue, I watched Captain Marvel, and I'm sure you know about the history between Miss Marvel, how she got her.
Yes, I do.
And so I showed my mom that movie when she was living here too, and she was like, "Yeah, I want to see Rogue." I was like,
"Me too, sugar." It's going to be interesting, how they are. The universe, the Marvel universe, is unfolding, and as they acquire the rights now to other properties like the X-Men, now Disney has acquired Marvel. And it's going to be very, very interesting. And the fact that they announced a new series, I mean, we've been quiet about it. We've been working on the deal for a while now. And all of us we haven't said a word.
And y'all are being good. Y'all are being very good. I go to Comic-Cons every year, and I remember Larry did a panel, I think in 2017, and he talked about you. And I was not familiar with you, outside of the role, but your actual involvement in politics, which I want to thank you for because it's very important. I live in Texas, and I'm an Austinite. I don't claim Texas.
Right.
I claim Austin because we are a blue state and a sea of red. So thank you for all your contributions, literally off screen. Because not only do the X-Men, as you were saying in the panel, represent so much, it blows my mind when people are reading these comics and they don't get the subtext of what it's
Yeah.
trying to say, and you actually embodied that in your role.
Thank you. And I think when I do these panels and have an opportunity to talk about it, I think it's important to hit that message home because, you know, oh my God, I mean, Texas, your governor there, I couldn't believe the latest, you know, his latest ideas and what they're doing. I just feel so bad for the people because we need to move forward, not backwards.
And I work for the state of Texas, unfortunately. So
wow.
I work for mental IDD, intellectual disability population.
Oh.
And he just continues to cut funding left and right. And I don't
Oh,
want to get on a big tangent, but so it's one of those things where we're like, we are trying to keep the programs alive that serve underserved populations.
Yes.
And they continue to just make it harder and harder and harder with everything. And I feel like with COVID, they were going to try to cut our fundings. Luckily, we're still fighting. We're still voting. We are slowly, I don't know if you paid attention, but we are slowly turning purple. So
I saw that.
It's very encouraging.
And, you know, thank you for doing the work you do with mental health and mental illness, because I've been a big proponent for years about more funding for mental health and to help people with mental illnesses, because it is just as much of an issue as physical illness. Mm-hmm. It's part of, you know, we need to spend time and money on these things to help people. And COVID has exacerbated the problem.
Oh, yeah. And especially here locally, like we are having a much more rampant crime. I literally live across the street from the state hospital, which is essentially like outdated, but a psychiatric ward. And there's people that literally are not served and are left to wander the streets because they're cutting so much jobs and whatnot. So it's a problem, but I'm in the trenches, still trying to fight the good fight with Rogue as an example of somebody who's going to, you know, even with, you know, all the barriers, there's still people that are willing to help and are willing to, you know.
Yes. Oh my God. Seriously, your job is one of the most important jobs ever. More, it always has been, but now we need to put more emphasis on it. And even here in my community, there have been youth suicides recently because the kids don't have the outlet that they would normally have. They don't have the help that they need. It's hard to get the help. And this is in Canada where, you know, a lot of our healthcare is free, but mental health, it still costs money to see psychologists and youth psychologists. There's just not enough. And the kids are, you know, they're crying out. They need help. And that's why I think, and that's why for me, it's exciting to be going back into doing this show and to get back into the entertainment, because I think we can help kids.
Yes. And new legacy. I was telling Cal, like my nieces and nephews now, they know of the name X-Men, but now this show revival is literally, I'm going to be sitting there as a kid because they come into my apartment. They're like, who are these people? And I'm like, I'm going to see them come back, you know, and we're going to spawn a new generation of X-Men that are going to change the world for the better.
I agree. And, you know, I'm told that the X-Men community is growing.
Oh, it's always been like, I've been blowing y'all up on social media and people are kind of like, no, the Avengers are going to be number one always. And I'm like, y'all don't understand what the 90s did for X-Men and for Marvel fans, because your show was what brought me into this world. It was Batman and X-Men for me. So 1992 was like, that was it for me.
Right. And I think they are the top animated series of all time, both of them.
And just to know that y'all are coming back. I know you can't say anything, but I'm just like, I'm more like, what's going to happen with Gambit and Rogue's relationship? Are they going to
I know.
The next step on, you know, in the relationship, but with the barriers? So it'll be interesting.
Tell me about it. You know, I have the first couple of scripts, and I'm going to read them this weekend, and I'm looking forward to finding out myself.
Yes, it's gonna be. I'm 2023. I have it marked in my calendar. I'm like, all right, block out my schedule, take time off. I'm gonna need to binge watch every single episode, and I'll be rewatching it to help encourage you guys.
Thank you, and like come seeing us if we're at any Comic Cons. We're gonna be in Florida in February, Pensacola.
Okay. I do. I was telling Catherine and Cal, I do San Diego Comic Con every year. But I'm venturing out to the smaller ones. So I will definitely keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Iowa, I'm going to Iowa in June. There'll be other ones though. San Diego, we're not doing this year, but maybe next year.
I'm sure they will have like a reunion for you guys because you deserve it and you deserve the spotlight because you are Rogue. And so thank you so much.
Thank you, darling, and I really appreciate meeting you and my love to your mom.
Yes, I'm gonna send her the video after I get it. I think we take a picture before we disconnect.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
Who does that though?
Yes, Michael.
I do. Hello. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Big smiles. Here we are. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Awesome.
Lenore, thank you so much.
Pleasure, Josh. You keep up the good work, man.
I will. I sure will.
We need you.
For you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night. Have an excellent night. How's it going, Chris?
How are you?
Doing good, buddy. Thank you for being part of this, man. I really appreciate it.
It's quite a collection you got back there.
I am a 33-year-old man who has no shame in all of this that has been inspired ever since 1992. Wow. So you are actually right behind Rogue. I don't know if you can. You're as you should. I mean, Rogue's got to get the spotlight, but
we're not touching, are we?
No, she's got her glove off. I don't know if you can see, but you're thankfully a little social distance from her.
Okay, good.
You're right in between Cyclops and Wolverine and Rogue, so I think you got a nice little set there. But thank you for being a part of this.
What city are you in?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Nice.
I claim as an Austinite, not as a Texan. I don't know if you know about Austin, but I've
been to Austin a couple times. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I loved it, and great town for music, amazing.
Yes.
And I played in Dennis Quaid's charity golf tournament there a couple times.
No way.
Years ago, yeah, I had a great time. My wife and I went and had a blast. I love Austin.
It's slowly coming back to life.
I watch the bats come out from the bridge.
That's what you do.
I'm a big thing you do.
I'm a big Batman fan, so it was Providence that I was born and raised in Austin because we are known for that. But X-Men are my gateway into to Marvel. So thank you for being a part of this. Like it's such a big deal. Yeah, you should come back to Austin. It's slowly coming back to life. ACL just happened, our big music festival. Do you play at all?
Yep.
All right. So South by Southwest, I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal. So I'm going to be going to that. I had 2020 wristband, so we're going to be pushing that to 2022. So it'll be it'll be interesting to see it come back to life slowly but surely.
So, do you have any questions for me while you?
Yeah. So about working on the revival, I know you can't say much, but while you were working on the show 1992, 1997, was there a favorite memory that you had working with Norm and Daniel? Because Cyclops.
Norm just always made me insecure because he was always hunting for the little extra parts outside of Cyclops when we were recording. And he'd always comment on how I did Gambit and say to me, "Is that how you're going to do it?" And he made me rather insecure. But when I saw the most of him in the years after the X-Men, ironically, than anybody else. As far as my memories of it go, most of it I filmed, in between the time, my lunch hours and extra time off I had when I was filming the Kung Fu series with David Carradine. Mm-hmm. So I was just going in and doing my job and kind of feeling insecure about the way I was doing it, not knowing whether it was right or going to have an effect. And then it wasn't until literally 20 years later that I realized what an impact the series had and how popular it was, because we just didn't know at the time. Being in Canada and not really tuned into I don't know if the X-Men played to as big an audience as it did in the US and around the world where I lived in Ontario. So it was kind of like this was happening unbeknownst to me.
In a bubble, kind of like,
it's staggering to me how popular it was.
My mom, I was telling Catherine, I met her earlier. My mom she's like, oh, I don't care about the Avengers. I don't care about Batman, but the X-Men, because she grew up watching, or she saw me growing up watching it, and the positive role models.
Well, the X-Men did not play to children. It didn't dumb down kids. It treated kids like adults in a way, and like it was intelligent writing, and there were intelligent kids watching it. So, if you were a fan, you're a bright guy. And
thank you.
What it is.
Yeah, my mom, she was so overwhelmed because I remember we brought home Pizza Hut VHS tapes that brought us into the gateway of X-Men, and she was like, there's religious themes in there with the Nightcrawler stuff, with the social justice stuff of the discrimination, and so she always gravitated towards. She loved Rogue, of course. So
Mom sounds pretty cool.
My mom's pretty cool. She was living with me actually a few months in 2021 after COVID and whatnot. And so we actually were watching the series on Disney Plus once again. And so she was like, I remember these episodes. She always loved Gambit. So if, just so you know, the moms love Gambit. So
I like them too. I think that helped to, I was into him when I played him, and I understood it. And so I enjoyed it. I don't always like the character I play. Sometimes it's fun to play a character you don't like, but I like Gambit. I loved playing him.
Yeah, he's really awesome. I wanted to congratulate you on 15 seasons of Heartland.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Hopefully all the directing stuff's going good with COVID going on and whatnot. Yeah. And there's no bear.
It's weird, but we got through the bulk of it. So yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Good.
It's really nice to meet you, and you seem like a really honest, true fan. And
I've seen all the episodes multiple times.
I appreciate your kind words. I really do. It makes me feel good. This kind of stuff makes my day. So
I am so waiting for 2023 because I've been waiting for a long time. So you're the ace.
We'll see you there.
Yes, thank you so much.
So really quickly before you disconnect, I'm going to jump in and take your snapshot.
Okay. I'm going to grab my cards.
If you look at your camera and smile, snapshot in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. I'll let you say goodbyes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of this, coming back. You're the OG Gambit, so I'm glad you had to come back for the revival.
Okay. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Joshua.
Hi, Catherine.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm very excited to meet you. Thank you for being part of this.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. This is my first time ever doing. Look at all the stuff behind you. That's amazing.
This is a shrine dedicated to you, actually.
The Phoenix. Look at that.
Phoenix is everything to me, and one of my favorite characters who inspires me every single day. I want to thank you for bringing to life such a powerful character who overcomes so many emotional barriers in life, and she is literally an inspiration to me every single day. So thank you for being a part of this.
Oh, well, that's very, very sweet of you to say. Thank you for watching. I love Jean. I love doing the Phoenix. It was so much fun, and I didn't really realize how much it meant to people at the time. The comics, because I didn't really know the comics when I started doing it, but my son was very little at that time, and I realized as time went on what these characters meant to people. And honestly, you know what? When I read the scripts, they were like nothing else I'd ever read in terms of kids' cartoons. Right. They really had deep meaning and ethical, dilemmas and morality, and it was questions of right and wrong. Anyway, what would you like to know? Ask me anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, when I saw your name as being a part of this, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for being a part of this. I know, for a while you probably were trying to distance yourself away from it, but with the revival coming back, I'm like, Jean's going to be a part of this. I am stoked. So if you were going to be a part of it, I probably wouldn't be as excited as I am now. So.
Aw, that's really sweet of you to say. No, it's not that I avoid stuff. I'm just, I don't know. I'm kind of shy in some ways. Yeah. So but this is kind of interesting doing it online. I feel sort of
this is a first for me. I do Comic-Con every year in San Diego, and of course it was canceled. So now when I saw this, I was like, I need to chat with her, because your character, like you said in the panel, was always kind of like made fun of. And I want to thank you for being like such an empowering person on and off screen, because for people.
Well, I do feel that, you know, I wasn't aware that people were kind of making fun of Jean and, you know, the sounds that she made, but I always felt like she was the emotional center of the X-Men. Right?
The heart.
Exactly. So empathetic. She wasn't just telepathic. She was empathetic and really cared. And all of it was so sincere. And the stuff that she wrestled with, you know, and that moment when she kind of goes up into the sky and says, "Oh, the light," you know, I wish it
from this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's such an empowering character. So the fact that you were a part of this was just like, I'm excited. I don't know, you can't say anything, but do you think the Phoenix Force is still out there and maybe has something to do?
I mean, I'm glad they announced it today, because I signed an NDA. We all did. So, you know, and Marvel, Disney's big on suing people. So, you know, so I can't really say anything, but it's just it's really nice to be a part of the whole thing again. And oh my God, I love all of your action figures. I'm so.
The Hairfire Club is actually behind all of them. So they're actually inspired. I love the Dark Phoenix saga, because for me, I'm a Cancer. We actually, our birthdays.
I'm Cancer too.
You are.
Yeah. What day? June?
I'm June 24th.
I'm June 22nd. There you go.
We're almost, I looked it up and I was like, I think she's right by me. But so I'm a very emotional person. So Phoenix, her journey and her arc to overcome emotion and to keep things in, for me, just really speaks to me as a person, and the X-Men as a franchise, but her specifically is really like an inspiration to like see that she deals with so much, continues to be the heart of the team, but continues to love and to open her heart and not close herself off from her emotions, because I deal with that on a daily basis a lot. Just being overwhelmed with things and things that have happened the last few years in the world, you know, it can be a lot.
Oh my God, it's so overwhelming. Honestly, I don't know how we're all coping with this. Where are you located? Like, what part of the country?
Texas. So right now, Austin is a very liberal city. I claim myself as an Austinite, not necessarily a Texan, because Austin is like,
I understand the distinction.
Yes, we're blue in a sea of red.
Yeah.
So with everything going on right now, we have a lot of political things. I work for the state, and I work with mental health services also. So going back to that, what Cal was talking about, like, thank you all for being part of that, because it really does help. I'm a 33-year-old man with action figures, but they're also an inspiration to not only me, but my clients that I help on a daily basis.
Oh, wow.
These individuals, you know, it's more than just a cartoon. These are like real inspirational figures to them. So it not only helps me, it helps people that I work with and I serve that need, you know, mental health services. So
hey, you're a 33-year-old man. I actually started watching it again when it was on Disney Plus this year, and I loved it. And I don't think I ever watched it from end to end before. And I loved it. I just loved the characters. And I agree with everything that you've just said. And I think those kind of shows were great for people to have during this past year and a half. Yeah. You know, frankly.
My mom and I watched it, and she's, to this day, she's like, I don't care about Avengers. I don't care about Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men. She's like,
yeah.
She loves Rogue. But she knows that I love Jean, so because of that, she's like, okay, I like Jean.
Well, thank you.
Really taught about right and wrong, and a lot of themes about discrimination and, you know, social justice that we really have been important issues and have been instilled in me as a kid, and something that I continue to champion forward thanks to the X-Men.
That's wonderful. That's probably thanks to your mom. And, you know, you're right. Jean sacrificed herself, right, for the good of everybody.
He did. And, you know, I'm so glad, because in the show, I handled the Phoenix arc, in my opinion, much better than the comics, because they literally killed her off. They brought her back recently, but it's like, you know, after years and years. So when I picked up the comics that continued the show, I was like, oh, she's alive still. Good.
I know, all those parallel universes that they have, when, you know, I've lost track.
Yeah, but she's been a big part of the comics now. So I'm glad that her character, not only on the show, was a focal point, but also in the recent comics. So your legacy, you created that legacy. I want you to know, like, you know, she was before you in the comics, but you really brought to life for me and a generation of people we
Well,
didn't know
that's-
about this character and this.
That's very
fantastic-
sweet, because I'm always very cognizant that there were 2 other actors, you know, who played Jean Grey, who were the voice of Jean Grey after me too. So it's kind of like a club. I like being part of the club.
Yeah, I know that there's there's a lot of recasting and things that can look similar, but the OGs are back, and we're so thankful that the OGs are back. Let me tell you, on social media, I've been blowing it up on Twitter. I've been blowing it up.
Oh, wow.
People are really, really excited. So I think there's going to be a renewed interest to see you guys, meet you guys. So thank you for being a part of this, because
Oh, my pleasure. And it was a real pleasure to talk to you too, really. Thank you.
much.
Before we say our goodbyes, let's take a virtual selfie.
Okay.
Get ready to pose.
You're giving me, I have a great opinion of Texas now. Okay.
3,
All right, Austin.
3, 2, 1. Thank you so much.
Austin.
Austin, yeah. Should come visit sometime. We're very open-minded. We're not like the rest of Texas.
Great music, right?
Yes, very great music. It's coming back to life slowly but surely. A lot of social distancing and masks are encouraged. So,
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
this is my first thing. I'm having such a good time. I don't know why I didn't do this
Hey.
years ago.
Yes, please continue.
I will. Thank you so much.
You have a
Bye.
good night. Thank you.
You too. Stay safe.